names, unfortunately. But these were people who, because I always get their profiles before they get into the house, right? I see their profiles, I know what they're coming into the house to do, or what they were picked for. And there were two people in that house who were supposed to be amazing content on that show. But they came in and fell very flat because of, I don't know if they got intimidated by the other housemates or by the cameras. I don't know what it was, but it came into the house and it was just a disaster. And it
I know who one of them is.
Who is that? You be very sure before you mention the name.
I know who
because my hand is not here.
So basically, actually, let me read out some questions because
Okay.
we've had quite a few questions about Tacha.
Okay.
And okay, this is from Oyiza. So some people have hit me up on Instagram, and Oyiza says, "Why was he so harsh and aggressive when he was talking to Tacha? Why was he always sounding harsh and aggressive when he talks to Tacha in the house?"
I don't think that's true, and I'm being very honest. So now, this season was called Pepperdam, right? And it was called that for a reason, and we're going to flip the script on everybody. This is the first season where we called out housemates for conversations they had in private. It had never happened in any season before. So Tools and Nadine gossip on Sunday. I'm like, so Tools, what was that thing you told Nadine in front of everybody?
Yeah.
That was the whole idea this season. I think I was hardest on Fraud, on Jackie. I called Jackie out on a conversation she had about a dream that wasn't even relevant to the show. But I did that because I wanted to stir things up. I did that with Mike. Mike had a conversation with a group of people. I mean, Tasha was there, Sardi was there, Ilos and Am was there, and they talked about Fraud. But it was Mike I called out to talk about it. So it wasn't a Tasha thing. I think what made Tasha's thing a thing was, first of all, her fans are very passionate, right? So it was hard to not have a conversation with her and not have the sort of response I would get.
Yeah.
And also, secondly, Tasha never really answered my questions.
She even got penalized one time, I think,
Yeah.
for being rude to you.
Yeah.
So,
And the funny thing is, when she was rude to me, I didn't even pick it up. Interestingly, but I mean, the microphone's always on, so production team heard it. I think I asked her a question and I said why, and she said because why has a long tail and two branches.
did that irritate you?
When I heard it later on, I mean, it had happened, but I was a little ticked off by it because I'm like,
What about
why would you do that? But she apologized and that was fine. No, the Tasha, that was fun for me, to be honest. Because, okay, so that day I hadn't talked to Tasha before since the show had started. And she had gone on a lot about how she was going to be there to the end of the season and all of that. Which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that kind of a strategy with being very confident. And I thought it was interesting. So my coming that day to ask her, you say you know a lot about, what it takes to get to the end. What are the characteristics of a winner? It was honestly going to end with her saying, okay, it's this. And I'm like, okay, which of these characteristics do you have? She would have answered, hopefully, and honestly, that would have been the end of that. Because I just wanted her to know, okay, we're watching you to see if this day 99 thing you talk about is really going to happen, and if you possess those qualities. It wasn't anything combative. But like I said, because she never really answers the questions, it always looked like it was a comeback.
Yeah. So it always looked like you were...
It always looked like, I was attacking her. But I did that to everybody. I did that to Sardi. Like, I called everybody out on the season. But with her, it became a thing because she never really answered.
It seems like a lot of people start to think that to win Big Brother, you have to come in with that combative persona.
Yeah.
What do you think is the actual strategy to winning Big Brother? Is there even a strategy at all?
Well, as we can see, there's none. Our three winners have all been completely different. I always say Miracle might not have won it this season if he was in the house. Mercy might not have won last season if she was in that house. So every season is different. There's no way to win the season. You know what I'm saying? You can have a strategy to stay long enough, but even that is not guaranteed, because how do you know you're interesting outside the house? You think you're being very manipulative, but are people liking it? You don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know that there's strategy. About people being combative, I don't know if combative is the word, but people think maybe controversy or being talked about, you have to stir things up. And I can see why, because it's a reality show. And you want to be noticed. There was 26 housemates this season. That is a lot of people.
My thing is this. Okay, so somebody actually, I'm looking for their name now, but somebody here has asked, is it true that this is going to be the last Big Brother?
I have no idea. But I tell you this thing to every year. When the season ends, there's no talk about a new season yet, because there's a lot of post-production that happens. They have to wrap up. Budget is very important. How much did they make at the end of the day? Did any money lost? You know?
I think they made a lot.
So there's a lot of that
I think
happening
they made a
now.
lot of it.
Then when they do all that, then they decide to announce if there will be another one or not.
Yeah.
But in my head, there's a house in Nigeria now, finally, which I think is a big highlight of this season.
Why
I
was
think
it moved from
I think we deserve a round
Yes,
of
yes,
applause.
yes, you do.
Because-
Although I did want to tour Ebuka and I never got that tour.
Unfortunately.
It's okay.
But I think it's a huge deal because the infrastructure that it takes to run Big Brother.
How do they do that?
I don't
Jen
know.
24/7.
You know, when they said I was going to move to Lagos, I was the most nervous person in the world. I'm like,
Yeah.
how are we going to do this? They pulled the house off, pulled production off, and ran the show for 24 hours without any major hitch. And of course, generators were on throughout. You can't even take any chances. You know, but the fact that there were hitches here and there, but it wasn't anything crazy that made the show.
What
go
kind of
down.
hitches? 'Cause I don't think we saw any of this.
But the technical issues. You
Okay.
can't do it. If you do a live show for 1 hour, you know what happens. Not
Yeah.
for 3 months,
Yep.
24 hours. There are going to be a few issues here and there.
Was
So,
it-
but it wasn't anything crazy, and I think that was amazing.
Was it more expensive having the house here, or was it more expensive having the house
I
in
honestly
SA?
don't know because I don't know the entire budget and how it works. But I know one of the reasons why it was always held in SA was because of cost to build here. So thinking about it, maybe going forward it might be cheaper because now the infrastructure is set. But this season where the infrastructure was built was probably more expensive than anything because building the house and all of the technicalities with the cameras and must have been crazy expensive. I don't know what was more expensive, but maybe next season, if there's one, since the house is done, they're not spending on infrastructure anymore. It
Yeah.
probably will be cheaper now, maybe.
Okay. So there were a few people, a few public figures that commented on Big Brother and talked about. Okay, let me just go straight to it. Basket Mouth, for example, he had said that he would have been he'd be depressed if Tacha won. And there was another article that kind of went through the last 3 seasons. And they were just talking about the fact that people that are seemingly toxic or quite controversial or combative or whatever you want to call them seem to be the ones that have interesting fan bases. So the person, I can't remember the person that wrote the name of the person that wrote the article, but they listed out T-Boz, then CC, and then this one Tacha. So I guess along those lines, that's probably why Basket Mouth said that he would have been depressed if Tacha won. So what are your thoughts on that?
I honestly, it's a reality show, right? And I think I say this every time I come here. You have to have a mix of personalities, right? And whether you like it or not, you have people. You can't put 30 people in a house or 20 people in a house who are just nice and cute and just chilling. Now, I don't know what Tasha's game plan was, if she set out to be anything, right? But I think for the most part, she was herself to be honest. I think to a large extent. She might have played a few things up, I don't know. But I don't know that you act that long for 3 months. It was 3 months. You understand what I'm saying? But she said repeatedly in the house that she's not used to being around people, that she's a loner. And there's a reason why she's a loner, because she doesn't do very well around people. So I guess that was what came out a lot, because she had to share that space with all of these people.
Yeah.
And she wasn't sure how to react to it. With regards to how people took it, the fact is, because it's a reality show, and that's why Big Brother is so popular, because everybody finds someone in the house that they can relate with. I'm sure you did, because there's so many individuals in the house. I don't know why those people seem to be popular, but it is a reflection of society after all. So there has to be some positive there, which is, this is who we are, and we have to just deal with it. I don't know that if it's good or bad, I can't say, but the fact is there's a huge demographic that identifies with her or identified with her, and we just have to live with it. And I don't think it's a bad thing per se.
Do you think?
Because a reality show, she didn't kill anybody. To be honest.
Do you think, with everything that was going on, online, with the fact that, like I said, you had lots of people, speaking about it, do you think there would have been a lot of negative publicity for the show if she had won?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because she's a very polarizing housemate, which is what those kind of people would be. So with Tasha, you either really loved her or you really didn't like her. There was no middle ground with her. You had a lot of other housemates where you're like, I don't mind if he wins or if she wins. But with Tasha, it was either this or this. So with her winning, it was going to be both as well. There were going to be people who were going to be excited. Then there was going to be another half who would be just like,
angry.
What happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like when you watch all of these reality shows in America, you have those characters who are very polarizing.
Yeah.
And they're usually the most popular.
Yeah.
So she's just a polarizing character. And her winning, I don't know what would have happened. I don't know. But I feel like it would have just been both ways. Extreme joy and extreme sort of like, what the hell happened? And we would have just learned to deal with it. I don't know. But it is what it is.
Let's talk about fan bases, because one of the things that we've realized in the last few years of Big Brother is that there's some contestants that have they have like a fan base that are really cool, and there's some people that have fan bases that are scary.
Yeah.
So is it true that you've received death threats since you started this show?
Oh yeah, I've received a lot of threats, and interestingly, I've received it from a lot of different fans.
Really?
Yes. So I've received death threats. My wife has received death threats. My kids.
Hey!
Based on what?
My kids. Yeah, my kids. My daughter is almost 3, and the other one is 6 months. They received death threats. People have said they're going to die.
Oh my God.
Someone said
On
my
top
wife
of
is
the
going to
show.
catch HIV and die. I don't know where she's supposed to catch it from. So, and this is not from, I can think off the top of my head about 7 different fan bases who sent that. I mean, there was a time I asked Sadi a question, and his fans came for me and my family. Same thing happened with Jackie, with Tacha, with Mike, with Mercy. I mean, so it wasn't one person. But that's why I talk about the passion the fans have. So
does this upset you?
With me, not really. If it's me, I'm fine with it, because I get ready every season. I know what's going to happen. And with this season in particular, I was very ready because I knew what we were trying to achieve with regards to stirring things up in the house. So I was going to be in the firing line because Ebuka, this week, we want this to happen. And Sunday will set the tone for what happens this week. So I throw things in the house and I leave. And the fans never really get it. And they come for me. So I was ready for it.
Producers that decide this, and you.
That's what people don't know. People are so controlled. I mean, it's a very controlled space. I can't just go in there and be like, haha, I can't. A lot of things are done with a team. And it's not, I mean, I put out a picture of the team from Big Brother, and people were shouting on Twitter, these many people. Yeah, it's about 300 people who work on that project.
Wow.
It's not a small production. So yeah, with me, I'm fine. But when they come for my wife and my kids, that I really can never handle, because these people are not a part of this show. Leave them out of it. Come for me. I did the job, and I can take it for the most part. So most times I stay off social media. I don't see a lot of those things because I know what's gonna happen. So I do the Sunday show. Monday, Tuesday, I'm like la in my room, and then Wednesday I probably can go back on social media. Yeah, but I mean, I got a lot of hate from a lot of fans.
Does it bother your wife?
Yes. I mean, because she's just like, I'm not getting paid for this thing. Why are they dragging me into it? So she just says that they better put me on the salary. I'm like, unfortunately, no. But yeah, she doesn't, because she's like, I'm a fan as well. Which is the honest truth. She likes the show. She watches the show as a fan. Why do they have to drag me into? And sometimes there's even fans of someone she likes who attack her. And she's just like, but I like this person.
But I'm your team. What did I do?
Yeah.
But is it something? So you don't take it seriously. You don't feel like.
Like I said, with me, I know it fizzles out. When the season ends, everybody sort of takes a breath.
Yeah.
And moves on. Most of them do. Some of them still go on even when the show ends. But most times I know it's the passion of the week, or because the same people who abused me this week, next week they're like, oh Ebuka, thank you, you were so sweet this week.
Oh my gosh.
Same people, and I'm just like, so
it's,
it's both ways. So when it's on, I know it's just for the game, and I know the passion. But like I said, what just gets to me is my family. Like, leave them out of it.
Why do you think Big Brother draws such passion and such anger from people?
Like I say, it's simple. Everybody can relate to it. There's somebody for everybody in the house.
Yeah.
So when you watch, you identify with someone. With Nigeria, it could be tribe, it could be religion, it could just be this